Hello everybody, welcome to the Red Devil Experience. We're here live with the Red Devil Daily. We are going to be talking about Rúben Amorim. We're also going to be talking about Rúben Amorim's first match in charge as interim boss. Today we got lineups, we got interview from him, but we have the latest updates on Rúben Amorim. When is he supposed to start? There's a lot of confusion. Is he going to be in for Chelsea? Is he going to come after Chelsea? Some indications even saying that he might be in not until the international break. So we're going to break that down. We're going to get into it. We're going to do a good discussion as we always do. Before we do, can you please smash the like button for me, because it helps the channel grow, so we greatly appreciate it if you could do that. And if you're watching this show after it has gone live, then get involved in the comments afterwards, and just let us know how you're feeling and what you're thinking, so we could get your voice. I see a couple people in the chat already, saying welcome Amorim to our club, and Ray is saying today is Rude's day. Well, we're going to get into the Amorim stuff first, and then we will talk about Rúben Amorim, as we do have a match in a little bit. Warren J is in here. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Hope everything is well. So let's do a little bit of a speed run. We're going to do a speed run through this stuff. We're going to get all up to date with the latest stuff that has just come out in the last second. And then we could move on to Rude and talk about his day in charge as well, because there's a lot of news that has come out and we got to get through this stuff. So, this has come out over the past 7 to 8 hours or so. So this is a rundown of the timeline of how we are doing. This was one of the first things that came out today, coming from Record Portugal, which is a Portuguese outlet in Portugal, basically stating that Rúben Amorim will stay at Sporting for their game against Estrela de Amadora on Friday and can travel to England at the weekend. So Sporting have a match on Friday. This was kind of talked about yesterday, but Sporting have a match on Friday. He is going to be at least there for the very least on Friday. He will be in charge of that. That may very well be potentially his last match. It is a home match for Sporting, so he has the opportunity to say thank you and goodbye to the Sporting fans. Now there's other developments that will follow this that we will get into. The next update comes from Ben Jacobs, obviously credible UK journalist, saying Manchester United and Sporting are still in talks, specifically over Rúben Amorim's start date and compensation for his assistants. Sporting want extra for all staff to move immediately, otherwise Amorim will have to see out a month-long notice, because as everybody has known, he has a clause that it's supposed to be given that he gives 30-day notice before actually leaving. That way Sporting have time to get a replacement and, replacement of other staff as well, not just him, because he's going to take his people with him. So that's kind of what the ongoing kind of battle discussion. It's not really, the deal's not in jeopardy. This is pretty much a formality. They're negotiating civilly. It's a good negotiation. It's a good talks that are going on. Obviously you just have to hash out the actual details and have everybody on the same page. So which we get into, because there's a couple updates going over that. So Ben Jacobs also following up by saying United are relaxed about the finer points with no Chelsea specific deadline in mind. As it stands, Amorim will manage Sporting against Estrela on Friday, but there's a good chance of a full agreement on all compensation points before then. So, United not really too fussed about the whole Chelsea thing. They just want the deal done and to be able to get in as quick as possible. But they're not extremely rushing. They're not panicking, saying, oh, we got to get him in before Chelsea. But they do want him in ASAP, so they don't really want to wait till the international break per se, but they're not worried about it. As I said, it's pretty much all a formality, so and Sky Sports coming with this. I'm gonna get into Sky Sports for a second, and you might question my thumbnail that is up for the channel, and it says, because apparently they've decided they want to dub Rúben Amorim as the new special one. I'm gonna give my piece on that, but I just threw it in there because if they want to use catchphrases and sound bites, we'll use catchphrases and sound bites, but we'll have an actual meaningful talk about it. But key figures from Manchester United are in Portugal in negotiations with Sporting over Rúben Amorim. The focus on those talks remains on the backroom staff Amorim will bring with him. And this is important because Rúben Amorim, it was reported that he was going to bring about 3 other people with him from Sporting to Manchester United. It is now being reported and discussed that he may bring even more people with him, maybe about another 3 to 4 people with him. So he may be bringing up to at least 7 people with him from Sporting to Manchester United. And this is something that I said that has to happen yesterday. As much as I love Ruben, and I hope he gets a win today. I've seen a bit of a lineup. Apparently, we're lining up in a 4-4-2. He's picked a very apparently interesting squad, which we will get into. But, it is the right thing. He's got to bring his people. We can't do like how old Manchester United used to do, bring in a manager. You're allowed 1-2 people. The rest of the staff have to stay the same. It's a recipe for disaster. It'll never work. So I hope Ruud does good for the games that he's in charge, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. And then he does have to go because he was brought in for Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is no longer here, and Ruud van Nistelrooy is not getting the full-time job. So it is the correct thing, but there's more information to come on to that, so just stay with us. Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, and Omar Barada remain at the negotiation table in Lisbon with Sporting for Rúben Amorim. So they are in Lisbon, they are in Portugal, they are heading this negotiation. All 3 of them are there. They are spearheading this. And they will get this done. I have utmost confidence in them with the way they have been moving and the way that they have been able to do certain deals already at their short time here. I'm fairly confident that this will be done very, very soon. The next update on that is Manchester United's push to appoint Rúben Amorim as their manager is being held up by negotiations with Sporting regarding his 30-day notice period. Some of this is a little bit, repeated, but I like to show the different sources from the different journalists just so you know who is putting out this news. And it's not coming from just one source. There is multiple sources that are reporting on this, of course. So we do know that. Jamie Jackson also following up saying United want Rúben Amorim in place for Sunday's game against Chelsea. You could obviously see the kind of disparaging different kind of, things that are being reported. One saying that, they're not too fast. One saying that he won't be in. One saying that they're trying to get him in for that day. So this is it's raising a lot of questions. A lot of people are wondering, when is Amorim actually going to be? And that's what we are trying to get to the crux of. So, United want Amorim in place for Sunday's game against Chelsea, but this may not be possible unless there's a breakthrough in discussions over his 30-day notice period. Again, that 30-day notice period being mentioned the most. There is a confidence within Manchester United hierarchy that Rúben Amorim will be in place well before December. And I found it interesting that, because everybody's talking about November international break, Jamie Jackson throws out December. I don't know if he's trying to create a little bit of panic, a little bit of, because nobody was talking about December. I don't know why December is all of a sudden the target month, but yeah, but it's certainly, obviously, of course, it's not going to take till December. I don't think we're worried about that. I guess he said it because of the 30-day period, but the 30-day period, in my opinion, isn't going to be hit, regardless of if he comes after Friday or it's going to take another week or 2. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take all the way to the 30-day period. And I'm going to give my reasons why, but Sporting are demanding that Manchester United pay another $4 million for the release of members of Rúben Amorim's backroom staff before he can become the new manager at Old Trafford. And I will just say this: pay it, and get it done, because we need to move. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Of course, Times following up saying if Manchester United agreed to pay the $4 million for Rúben Amorim's 3 staff members, Sporting will waive the 30-day notice. And this is also why I'm saying pay it, because I want the guy in and I want to get the ball rolling as fast as possible. Pay it. It's $4 million. Negotiate it to 2. Do whatever you got to do, but somehow make an agreement and let's go. Let's go. And then this coming from Sky, Cave, saying Sporting believe that Rúben Amorim's move to Manchester United is a done deal, which is certainly, this is in chronological order, by the way, as well. So we are going with the time these things have been released. Well, certainly between him and the club, it's done, but I don't think 100% it's done between the club and Manchester United. Maybe it is very, very close and it's just a matter of time, but Record Portugal again. They're the ones pretty much saying the opposite of the UK journalists and the UK media, saying that Rúben Amorim will manage Sporting until the next international break, which has posed some questions as to why. Now, this is a big possibility that it can happen. I don't know if it is necessarily going to happen. We have to wait for a little bit more updates to come out. But that's why I'm kind of saying I don't think it's going to take the full 30 days. Obviously, we want him in ASAP. Sporting, based on, what they decide for themselves, what is their best situation? Is it good to let him go after Friday? They have a big match coming up against Manchester City in the Champions League. How quickly can they integrate or get whoever they are getting to replace? Maybe they need a little bit more time, which is why they want him to go when the international break starts. There's no football. They can take their time to properly do the things that they need to do, because it is a little bit rushed on their part, for them per se. So, but we will have to see, really, because there's both sides of the stories coming out. So, and this is why I've put this in my thumbnail, kind of a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek to these people at Sky Sports. Senior figures at Sporting believe Rúben Amorim is the new special one. I don't really believe this. I mean, they may think that he is a very, very good manager. I don't think people at Sporting are actually saying that this guy is Jose Mourinho. I think that is Sky Sports pretty much trying to make a comparison, blow it up out of proportion, because he's Portuguese and he's going from a Portuguese club to an English club, kind of like what Mourinho did. Obviously, their stories are very different. It was very different, their stories are different. It was a different time in football. And like I said when I read this and I responded, there will only ever be one Jose Mourinho. Rúben Amorim is not Jose Mourinho. He is not the same human being. He is not the same kind of personality. He doesn't even play really the same kind of football. This is just the media doing media things. There's only one Jose Mourinho, just like there's only one Sir Alex Ferguson, just like there's only one Sir Matt Busby, just like there's only one Pep Guardiola. Like, Rúben Amorim will be his own man. Rúben Amorim will be his own manager. He will be Rúben Amorim. He will not be Jose Mourinho reincarnated, like the media are probably going to try and run this story with. It's just ridiculous. The guy hasn't even actually officially confirmed, and they're already trying to compare him to Jose Mourinho just because, number one, he managed in the Premier League, he's Portuguese, and he also managed Manchester United at a certain point. Let's lay it down a little bit. Let's tone it down a little bit. This coming from Ben Jacobs, and these are the most closest recent updates in the last couple minutes. These are like basically the freshest and newest in the past like 20 minutes or so. Ben Jacobs saying Rúben Amorim could bring a few other Sporting staff members to Manchester United along with the three coaches, so going hand in hand with what was just reported before. And we have Manchester United have agreed a fee with Sporting for Rúben Amorim. United are now working on a deal to bring his Sporting first-team coaches to Old Trafford. So this is the latest update. This just came out as we were going live. So Samuel Luckhurst, Stephen Railson, basically saying that the deal, well, I think we already knew that they agreed a fee with Sporting, but maybe he's saying a kind of total package, because we had to pay the release clause, we had to pay for kind of the coaches. Obviously he's saying they're working on the deal. So yeah, I don't think it's not 100% done, but it is edging closer and closer. Pletigol coming out following up that update saying all parties want to finalize the Amorim to United move this week. The deal could be done by Sunday at the latest. And I kind of feel like that is what is the most likely scenario that's going to happen. I think he's going to do the Friday match. He's going to say goodbye to Sporting and the fans, and to his players, of course. And I think, we're going to play our match for Chelsea. Ruud van Nistelrooy will be in charge for that match. And after that match is over, then Ruud will end up leaving. Amorim will come in. I think that is the most likely scenario. I don't think Ineos and per se Sir Jim Ratcliffe and co. and Barada and co. I don't think that they are going to let this drag out for much, much longer. I don't think that they're going to allow it to go to the international break. I think they want this man in as soon as possible. I think they're doing formalities in the negotiations, and that's fine, you know, if you spend a couple days, but I don't think they're gonna let it run any longer than this week. I expect this deal to be done, you know, at least sometime by the end of the week, if not before the end of the week. I do expect this deal to be done. I think the way Ineos are moving, the way they kind of are showing business, they're not messing about, and I think they're gonna pay. And you know, that report came out the other day basically saying that Amorim, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was willing to pay. He said pay. He said we don't care. He said get the manager in. He said we will pay for the new manager if we have to, and they've clearly done that. So, you know, money is not an issue at this very point, regardless of what the media talk about PSR and FFP. Clearly, we're okay to pay for all this, and I'm okay because I think it is the right thing that the club is doing. I think the club do, you know, the Ineos and the club are showing they mean business. We went in there, we got a manager that's in charge at a club, pretty quickly, and we mean business. We've not messed about. We're paying the fee straight up forward. We're getting his staff. We're doing the right thing for him, and the project. And you know, it just shows strength, and it shows that we're not messing about. You know, okay, it's failed under Ten Hag, but that ain't gonna stop us. We're moving forward, and we're still coming. So, you know, let me get to the chat because you guys have been in here very good, and talking. So yeah, I'm glad we got through all the updates. Now we could just have a more personal conversation. We could talk about Rude as well, take you know, managing his first match in a little bit, which we will be live for, of course. After the match, we will do a Red Devil recap as always. So what are you guys saying in here? Richard's in here as well, saying goodbye Sporting. He said, I know a Dutch guy looking for a job. Yeah, I think there's about, I don't know, 1.2 billion people or something. I don't know, I'm just making up numbers that know a Dutch guy that's looking for a job. Yeah, for sure. Ray is saying Eric is going to hire him coming to the show. Evening, Eric, and all you Reds. Lyle's in here as well. Sporting is finished if you take 7 out of the club. Well, they're taking quite a number of people because he's taken at least 3 that are coming with him. And there's a couple more that are gonna follow him. And you know what? They may be very well hurt. But listen, I was talking. Oh, this is something I wanted to bring into the show that I forgot. So one of you very good yesterday asked what is the relationship like with Rúben Amorim and his players? Is he, you know, is he good with his players? Do they all kind of get along? Has he had any problems with players at Sporting? So I asked my buddy, because I said that I have my longtime friend of about 15 or so years. He's Portuguese. He's a big Sporting fan. And he knows, just like how we know Manchester United, he knows the ins and out. He knows everything that's going on. He follows the news and stuff. So I did talk to him yesterday, and I asked him. I said, one of my viewers wanted to know. They asked a very good question, and they said, you know, has he had any bust-ups with players while he's been at Manchester United? Has he had any problems? Has he had to kick people out of the squad? And I want to get exactly what he wrote. So give me a second and let me so and you know, this is a group chat. So we also have the Benfica fan in there, who's also Portuguese, and we got the Porto fan in there. So it's a whole Portuguese fest going in there. And basically I said to him, and I said, one of my viewers wanted me to ask, how is he with the players? Has he had any bust-ups or fight-ups? The Benfica fan even responded first, saying, "Nah, no, full tranquility." And then he said, "Let me explain it like this from a Benfica fan's perspective, a little bit tongue in cheek." He said basically before Amorim, the president would hire fans to invade the locker rooms during practices to beat up their own players. Now they are champions. So from a Benfica fan, that's certainly a way to put it. In that aspect. My friend that is the Sporting fan replied back and said to my original question, he said, no, everybody loves him. He's had no problems whatsoever. And he's got along with all the players, and actually even some of the players refused. They had offers from bigger clubs in the summer. They actually turned down those offers just to stay at Sporting because they wanted to be under him as a coach. So, you know, that kind of gives you a little bit of an indication of what kind of man this manager is. And probably how good his man management skills is. He's a serious man. It's a lot about business, but I think it seems like he's in a way that he is fair and he kind of commands. But there is a mutual respect. There's people that are out there that they can be strict, they can be tough, but you do respect them because you don't feel like they're unfair. You kind of buy into them, which I think is very, very important for Manchester United. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to bring that into the show because I thought it was good to get from the sporting fan perspective about that. So Ray saying today is Rude's day. Warren is in here. I haven't talked to you since all the craziness went down. Yes, Warren, it's been absolutely craziness. We've been going absolutely crazy. What are you guys saying? Lyle saying dismantling Sporting is wild though. Listen, it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do, man. And actually he had a perspective on this as well, the Sporting fan. So I kind of want to I'll bring back in what he said because we were just chatting a little bit before we went live. Me and him were having a little bit of a back and forth, and I sent him one of the updates. And he's like, he was a little like, because like he kind of wants Amorim to just go now because he doesn't want the dressing room to necessarily turn toxic because some of the players are maybe upset. And then he said that he's not worried about the players' commitment to the club at all. He said, in fact, I think this whole thing has united the club even further as a whole. I've never seen so much support for the president of Sporting as I've seen in the past few hours. Which I thought was an interesting thing, but I kind of asked him, like, what do you like, what are they saying? What's going on with the president? Because I thought it was an interesting, kind of aspect. And he said he's just never had so much support. The people thought he was kind of a softie, like a president with no balls. But they like his posture now, revolving the ongoing negotiations with Man United and making sure the club gets the best possible deal out of this, because this happens all the time, you know what I mean? And then the Benfica fan giving him a little bit of banter. And he basically responded back to it by saying, because I can't really say what they said because it's not appropriate for YouTube. But in essence, he said, this is all in cycles, because the Benfica fans basically saying Sporting is getting absolutely screwed. And he's like, this happens. This is all in cycles. There is no, it happens with every club, and it will happen to your club as well one day. And it happens to every club. And I think it was a very good point, because I've said something similar about Manchester United. I said it yesterday on the show. This stuff happens in cycles. We're dog. We've been kind of dog shit for quite some time now. And it happens in cycles, and it's gonna happen. That's kind of why I said, that quote from Erik ten Hag that they ran with and they made it fun of. Like, he's not wrong. Like, the errors come to an end, whether it's good or bad, in a good or bad way. They do happen. So, but it is a little bit wild, but it is necessary. We do have to take these people out of there and bring them with us. If that's what made him successful and they are important to Rúben Amorim, then we need to not do a half-ass job. We got to go in there, bring all the people he considers are important to his success since he's been there. And we need them to come with us. We need the full thing. We don't need a half-ass job like we've done in the past. So it is a little bit wild, but it is necessary. One Man United, there's only one Man United. Well, of course there's only one Man United. There's only really one Manchester club anyway. And they might, and I kind of agree with Ray as well. Like, they are probably going to get a little bit hurt. And Richard saying Europa League is back on. Yeah, probably, definitely, for sure. I think everything, I mean, let's see what happens. But I think the possibility of everything is back on the table, because we don't actually know what's going to happen. Plus, there's a lot of positivity going on right now in the fan base and around, this hiring. But I think this is kind of why I was saying, like, I was not that I was sad, but like that, like, yes, it was disappointing that Erik ten Hag had to get sacked and we had to sack another manager, but it was necessary. It was time to do it, because that this possibility of Europa League being back on, and the possibility of the top four coming back into play. It was never going to happen on Derek Ten Hag. It was clear that we were going to struggle for a large part of the season, and even if he did end up figuring it out, it would have been too late. When you come with this whole new manager, this whole new staff, there's going to be a bounce. He's going to play a different system, a different style. I mean, there's so many changes that can directly affect immediately and effectively Manchester United, and this season is salvageable. Like, points wise, in all competitions, it is still salvageable. If Ruud does us a good service, which I hope he does today, he keeps us in the Carabao Cup trophy and he hands it off to Rúben Amorim. We need to win today. So I think it definitely. I think everything is back on the table now. Can it go sideways? Sure, because we don't know exactly how it goes. Maybe he struggles a little bit when he comes in to get, the players got to adjust to him. He's got to adjust to the players. Maybe he hits the ground running. Maybe he wins 10 matches in a row. We don't really know, but the possibility for sure is definitely there. I think everything as of this moment before he's taken, before he's taken charge, I think the possibility of anything is on the table. I think top four is in play for sure, because we're not necessarily that far off. And if he could get us playing well and hit a good, run of games, kind of like what Ali did when he came in, he kind of just went and we were scoring, we were playing well. And we're going to talk about the match today. We are. So, our season technically starts tonight. I mean, our season technically, yes, it does, and I hope Ruud can get us and on a good platform and get us going. And I don't know. How do you guys feel about tonight? Let's start talking about tonight, because we got the match in a little bit. I really want to talk about that as well. And there's some updates for that as well. So let me pull them up side by side so I can see what you guys are saying. The Ruud out with that lineup. So the lineup is out, I believe. But how are you guys feeling? Because I feel like, and I was thinking about it yesterday, I was feeling like, I was like, I have nothing to really base this on other than a feeling, right? Because I don't know how we're actually going to play under how Ruud has set us up. But I'm just like, it would be typical of these players after they've gone and sacked this manager pretty much. That they come out and they score 3 to 4 goals today and they play absolutely brilliant and we dominate Leicester and we just destroy them. So I kind of just feel like that's going to happen. There's nothing really of fact to really base that off of. We could lose. We could not play that great. But there is lineup stuff coming out. So let me pull this up and let me try and get it to you guys, because we're going to cover a little bit of the match. We won't be doing a watch along for this one, because I am going to go watch it, of course, with my father, as I always do. It is the tradition. So this time we will not. There will be opportunities at times where, he might be at work or he might not be available. And then I will come and do a well-needed live stream with you guys. But let's try and get into this. So apparently we are set up in a 4-4-2. So where are my 4-4-2 levels? You guys have been asking for a 4-4-2 for shows and shows and shows, and apparently Ruud has set us up in a 4-4-2. So throwing it back to the little classic, I don't know how well that's going to go necessarily, but we are going in a 4-4-2, so going to be interesting. And apparently Bruno Fernandes and Joshua Zirkzee are starting together up front in a 4-4-2 system. Noah Theodros is in here saying United 3-1. Well, I certainly think it's probably going to be something like that. I could even see it 3-0, Theo. I could even see it. I called you Theo. I'm sorry. I could even see. You have. I actually like that. You kind of got almost two first names. So yeah. Yeah, I could see a 3-0. Noah. I could see it 3-0 as well. I could see it happening. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, if you could hit the like button, because it helps the channel grow and it helps us get pushed out there a little bit more. So if you could do that, we appreciate that. And if you enjoy and you want to be part of the community, you could subscribe to turn on notifications. But Bruno Fernandes and Joshua Zirkzee are apparently starting together up front. So I kind of think You know, one will be kind of like, I mean, maybe he's playing two false nines, because that's kind of a FIFA thing going on right now. I mean, that's not really a real life football thing, but you're playing a 4-4-2. Xerxes and Bruno are both up top. I would say maybe one should be a false nine. One should kind of be either a complete forward or an advanced forward. Um, but they could kind of both play false nines, which is interesting as well. I'm trying to find to see um, more of the lineup because the timeline gets messed up. Amad Diallo has remained on the bench, so if any of you thought that, you know, Diallo was going to get a start, he is not getting a start, which kind of indicates to me that obviously if Diallo's on the bench, that means Rashford and Garnacho are both starting on the wing in the 4-4-2. Omar Barada apparently will be at Old Trafford for the game tonight, so he's clearly um, he is not in Lisbon. So whatever was reported before, maybe he was in Lisbon and he left to go to the match. You know, it's not that far of a flight. Maybe he was never actually there, and it's Ashworth and then Wilcox who are over there. But Omar Barada will be in attendance tonight. That is news that is coming out. Um, give us a little bit. Give us a little bit more. Yes, Chris Wheeler saying despite reports in Portugal that Omar Barada has been in Lisbon today negotiating the Amorim deal, he will be at Old Trafford tonight. So, yeah, whatever. Make of that what you will. It just shows that they don't know everything, and sometimes you know, their sources are not right. Here is the thing that we wanted to know. So Marcus Rashford is starting on the right again, which I like because I think that's where he should be playing, and Garnacho remains on the left. So I think that is very, very good. I think that is the proper way to go. I don't think Garnacho should be playing on the right. And I like Rashford better on the right because I think he can be more creative in terms of creating chances on the right. And that is the way I would definitely go. Um, And, you know, let's see what else we're getting leaked out here because apparently it should be coming soon as well. So, in the next 15 minutes or so. We actually have another update basically saying this is coming from Santi J. He is a journalist. He is a journalist. He has about 307,000 followers on X. He is pretty credible, I believe. Like a lot of people, you know, they take him as credible. So this came out 12 minutes ago saying a total agreement has now been reached for Rúben Amorim and two of his assistants, Carlos Fernandes and Adelio Candido, to move to Manchester United. So it seems like we've gotten Rúben Amorim and his two assistants, which will probably be like his assistant manager and the other assistant. And then probably what's left is to get whoever and however many the extra staff that he wants to bring. So maybe about 2, 3, or 4 more people. So we're pretty much almost there. That's why I'm saying I pretty much expect this to be announced by, you know, the very latest, the end of the week. It probably will be sooner with the way Ineos have been moving and the things have developed over the past 48 to 72 hours. Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be, he may bring his GL coach. What is GL? His good luck coach? Oh, goalkeeping coach. Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, does he have a good luck coach? His good. Yeah, his GK makes a lot more sense. I was like, I never heard of a GL coach. I don't know what that is. I thought it was like some hipster position, Lyle. Yeah. Although, you know, at Manchester United, I wouldn't be surprised that, you know, when we had Ed Woodward in charge, if we did have a position and some guy was the good luck coach, that was definitely a position at Manchester United at one point. What else? Victor Lindelof is apparently starting for Manchester United against Leicester. So Victor Lindelof, but they have not said where Victor Lindelof is starting. Is it at centre back? Is it at right back or / left back? I mean, it's probably going to be at center back. I don't know. I have no clue. I am actually very confused right now. What has happened to our players? What has happened to Delit and Martinez? That Lindelof would start at center back. Yeah, we're waiting for more news to come out. Give us more updates, please, and thank you. We want to know what's going on. We want to know what's going on. But yeah, how you guys feeling about this whole thing right now while we wait for some more news? I mean, I'm excited by the manager coming in. I'm excited that it should be done very, very quickly and immediately. I'm just happy right now because I think the Ineos have turned the whole narrative of the club up upside down, basically, of what it was. We were absolutely getting made fun of. I was talking to a couple rival fans that are my friends the other day. They're still some of them are still trying to throw dirt on us because I'm trying to give them a little bit of punch power right now because they've been kicking us while we've been on the floor. You know what I mean? So they had their big laugh at Eric Ten Hag and that he got sacked and that it failed, right? But now I'm trying to give him a little bit of fear, hyping up our new manager, and I'm telling them, we're coming for you. I'm like, and all that banter stuff. And they're trying to hit me back, and they're like, oh, maybe it goes the same way it does with Ten Hag. So, and basically he gets failed, and it ends up as a disaster, and it gets sacked. So, um, yeah, I think I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm a stupid fan. You know what I mean? And I just am doing things based off of feeling, and I'm being reactionary. But I kind of feel like this guy. I feel like it's gonna be different. I just do. I feel like the situation is different. Um, I feel like the whole thing is different. I feel like the setup, the fact that he's bringing all these managers, not these managers, like the assistants and stuff with him. And I kind of just feel like his personality. I've been listening to him speak. He's spoken a couple times in English. Obviously, he spoke a little bit in English after the match. I caught a little bit of the match of the Sporting match yesterday. Um, and kind of the way he kind of conducts himself, it is a little bit Mourinho type esque, but it's not on the same level. You know what I mean? Mourinho type esque, like, one of the journalists was asking him in English, like, so are you going to be in charge at Manchester United for Chelsea and or whatever? And he was like, no, I will be here. And the English reporter was like, definitely. And he was like, I don't know, laughed, and then just got up and walked away. You know what I mean? So I think he has a good personality, but he is going to demand a lot. There was a report, and I kind of missed it somewhere earlier, that the players have been informed basically that this guy will demand a lot. This isn't going to be a walk in the park, and I think rightfully so. That's why I also think it is a good decision as well. And Lyle's saying it all feels different this time, but a very good different. Yeah, and I think because he's also a good candidate for the job. Give me a second. I think he fits the project very, very well. So, we're getting some more news. Apparently, Alex Crook and Talk Sport are saying right now that Rúben Amorim would prefer to have his Sporting farewell game on Friday against Estrela da Amadora. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Harry Almas is on the bench. Come on, just give us the lineup so we could talk about the match. Like, you guys are dragging this out, man. They're dragging it out. Leicester has put out their lineup. It is clearly Leicester, bench substitutes that are starting. Their lineup is Ward, Justin, Cody, Okoli, Thomas, they're killing me with these names. Whatever his name is, Skip, Sumari, McAteer, D, Cordova Reed, and Ayu. That is their starting lineup. Can we have our starting lineup? I'm happy that Harry Almas is on the bench. He is on the bench, though. And I hope he gets some minutes. Hopefully, we could score a couple goals so that we just take control of the match immediately. And we could give players like Harry Almas some actually valuable playing time. I want to see him play in a competitive sort of match, and not just a preseason match. I think he played very good in the preseason matches. But yeah. Give us the lineup. Give us the lineup. Leicester reserves. Yeah, they're the ones that are starting. Um. We've got bits and pieces. Can they just give us the whole lineup? Like, come on. Still waiting. What time is it? It should be out in 3 minutes because the game is about in an hour and 3 minutes, and I guess they will put it out in an hour. It's just really annoying, but yeah. Here's a photo for you. We'll bring this in. Here's a photo. Here's a photo for you for the show. Let me get this in. There you go. How you like that photo? How you like that photo? I like that photo. Rule coming with the 4-4-2. What he knows best. What he knows best from Manchester United. 4-4-2 Ferguson style. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a throwback to Ferguson to some type of Fergie ball. Hopefully. I hope it replicates it at least in some sort of manner. Richard doing his due diligence on X, shouting me out. Match day shout out. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Yeah, and you know what's something else we can mention and kind of talk about. I've seen a lot of discussion. Obviously, the hitting. You know, the rival fans and a couple other people are kind of they're nervous. Some of them are nervous. Some of them are being bitter. And even some of our own fans. You know, I've seen a couple of our own fans. I guess maybe they're bitter about Ten Hag going. They wanted him to get more time. You know, they've been kind of hitting Amorim, kind of saying that, you know, oh, it's too big of a step and he's inexperienced. And I think the response to that was it too big of a step and he's too inexperienced when Jurgen Klopp was leaving Liverpool and he was going to go there because they deemed him the perfect candidate to go there. He was also just recently being deemed as the perfect candidate to replace Pep Guardiola, but all of a sudden now, because he's going to Manchester United, the Premier League is too big of a step for him and he's inexperienced. I mean, you know, these people are really fickle and just it's just sad. It's sad to see people be like that. All right, our lineup is out, so we could talk about it. And oh my God, Binder is in goal, so Onana is not there. So Binder is in goal, which is going to start you off right away with Ten Hag would have never done that. Binder is playing. Lindelof, Delit, Martinez, and Delo, because it's going in order by numbers. So sorry, it's a little bit out of order. So Lindelof is apparently playing right back, and Delo will play left back. Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Xerxes, Garnacho, Casemiro, and Ugarte are starting this match. So we've gone pretty much very strong, other than we swapped out our goalkeeper and Mazawari for whatever reason. Let's see. Can I see the subs? Substitutes are Heaton. Get this off my screen. Heaton, Amos, Evans, Mazawari, Jack Fletcher, Fitzgerald, who's been called up because Christian Eriksen is out with the injury. Ahmad, Hoyland, and Wheatley. So interesting. That Hoyland isn't starting and Xerxes is, but I think it's a good opportunity considering that we're playing, you know, Leicester, and they are playing kind of the reserves. I think Binder does deserve a game. I mean, come on, we're playing Carabao Cup. I don't think he's that bad of a goalkeeper. I think you could take the chance to play Binder in this match. I mean, you know, Onana doesn't have to play every single match. I get it, you know, for a certain aspect, but come on, give the guy a chance. Like, you know, it's already bad enough as a keeper when you were a backup. You know, your backup, your job is to pretty much just sit there and be a backup. And you hope to get a match here and there. And he never got the opportunity really under Eric Ten Hag unless he was forced into. So that's a good rotation. And apparently Delo is at right back and Lindelof is at left back. So we're gonna have to see. Oh no, I'm sorry. Delo is at right back. Delit and Lindelof are at center back, and Martinez is at left back. So Martinez is actually playing left back, which it makes a lot more sense. You don't want Lindelof at right back or left back. He's obviously much better at center back. So I guess Maz maybe was suffering a little bit, and they didn't want to push him too much. So maybe he probably needs a little bit of rest. So, you know, put Martinez in the left back. And we have the kid, you know, just in case we do go up, we got the kid. We could throw him in. If we're in a comfortable lead, we could afford to put him in. And we don't have to necessarily put Mazawari. We can also put Maz and in for Delo and manage his minutes. So I think it's very good. I think it's actually smart. And I kind of wanted to see this whole Casemiro Ugarte thing. You know, and again, from Eric Ten Hag, it was just super strange. You know, they did release his post-match, you know, that his pre-match kind of comments that was supposed to be for this match, that he did after the last match. And he spoke glowingly about Ugarte, saying how well of a game he did, and then he didn't play him a single minute against West Ham. So, you know, again, you could say whatever you want about the players, but again, Eric Ten Hag has also his own faults, and he has failed himself to a certain degree. You know what I mean? He did hurt himself because he was doing things that didn't necessarily make sense. Grace is in here. Good evening, little ferrets, she calls us, and rightfully so. Grace, we're just talking about the lineup. I don't know if you've seen it, but for anybody joining us now, I will say it again so that you can be on the same page with us. Biender is in goal. Delo will be at right back. Your husband, Grace. Delit and Lindelof are starting as the center back pairing. Martinez will be at left back. Casemiro and Ugarte holding down that center midfield. Rashford on the right. Bruno and Xerxes will be up top. We are playing a 4-4-2, and Garnacho will be on the left. Grace already starting with the Rude out. Well, he is going to be out because Amorim is coming in. So, but for everybody that isn't aware of Grace, that may be watching the channel for the first time, this is Grace's way of being funny. She has a good sense of humor that I respect. They might be questioning why she's saying Rude out. What is she talking about? Yeah. And then on the bench we have Heaton, Almas, Evans, Mazawari, Jack Fletcher, Fitzgerald, Ahmad, Hoyland, and Wheatley. And really from the substitutes from the bench. And this is why I'm hoping we could score 2 or 3 goals, because I want to see Almas get minutes. I want to see Jack Fletcher. I want to see Fitzgerald. I want Ahmad to get some minutes, and I want Wheatley. That's 5 substitutes. I want all of them in. You know, I think if we take a good enough lead, we don't need to play Hoyland. Just give him some rest. We don't need to play Maz. They're gonna play plenty of matches going forward. We don't have to give them minutes if we don't need it. Especially if we're, you know, in the lead and we're controlling the match. I want to see these kids get minutes. I want to see what they're about. I want to see who's potentially ready to step in and could possibly come in, because it is going to be important going forward as well. You know, Amorim has done wonders with the youth academy, not the youth academy, but the youth prospects at Sporting. He's brung in numerous amounts of players. He developed them wonderfully. Sporting obviously having one of the best academies in the world, but he has had a hand in developing them, giving them opportunity, bringing them into the first team. You know, and there was actually, I just want to go over this because it kind of ties hand in hand with the youth. So there was a Sporting fan that left a message under one of the bigger Manchester United accounts, and basically he put it like this: He said it's a great video. He's a sporting fan. So he said this is a very accurate description of Amorim's revolution of football. It is by far the best football played at the club in 40 years, and in a country of cunning coaches and players, no one has yet found the antidote for it. Just for more context, Amorim joined a broken club. The fans had attacked players recently, and half of them left. There was no money. It was record low assistance and attendance, I think he meant to say, and horrible football. That was the situation that Rúben Amorim walked into. He then went on to say, in a broken club that demands wins at everything but has half the money of Benfica and Porto, and whose pressure on coaches is almost infamous and usually eats them by the dozen. Comes Amorim, coach for 2 years at that point. Can he do it? Yes, he can. He recalls loaned players, promotes youth, gets some rejects from other clubs, changes to his 3-4-3, and is champion in the first year. It is now year 4. Sporting is back to win another league title, second in the 4 years. It has full stadiums every game. Win or lose, we cheer. Made more money in sales in the last 4 years than in the last 20 combined, losing key players and never losing strength. Sporting's win average has skyrocketed, and we are honored with amazing football every week. And also, until this year, Sporting team didn't have a proper striker. They gave him one in Gyökeres. Just look at the stats. This man and his team, by their craft alone, resurrected a sleeping giant with half of the money that his direct competitors had. You keep asking the same question that we did. Is he ready? And he said, let me answer for you. Are you ready for him? So, if that doesn't get you, ready to go for Amorim, it's first-hand account from a Sporting fan that watches every single match. Grace wants to know when she could start the Amorim out movement. Well, probably at least not for a year, unless it goes horrible and we get relegated, which I don't expect it to do so, Grace. But yeah, definitely, probably, and not at least for a year, and it depends on circumstances. Why do you want to start the Amorim out movement? That's the question we need to know. Yeah, so we have the starting lineup. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. For sure. I hope we get the win. We need this win. Keep us in the Carabao Cup and hand it off to Amorim when he comes in, so he has as many possibilities to win a trophy as immediately as possible. I mean, that's just going to do wonders as well. So, and then obviously, I do expect Ruud to be in charge for the Chelsea match. So hopefully we start with a win here. We go into Chelsea. It's not going to be an easy match. It's going to be a tough match. Obviously, that's why we're also resting some players as well. The likes of Højlund. I think he needs a little bit of a rest. He is probably going to come back in for Chelsea. I expect him to. And hopefully we can get a good 3 points there as well. And he can hand it off to Amorim after that, because I think that deal will be done again by the end of the week. We could do well tonight. I think so. And I like that he's changed the formation. I think we're going to see quite a different type of football. And, many people have accused the players of downing tools, the same old lot. Some of them, it's going to be interesting to see Marcus Rashford tonight. It's going to be interesting to see Bruno Fernandes, kind of how they play and how well they do. But also it's going to be interesting to see kind of the shape, the formation, the tactics. How fast are we going to play? How direct can we actually play? How many chances can we create? And how many chances are we going to actually put in the back of the net? It's only been a few days since the last match, and since we kind of lost that match and Ten Hag has got sacked. So, it's going to be interesting to see the kind of differences in the team tonight. And I'm sure, if you see improved performances, a lot of people are still going to call some of the players out for downing tools, and they could have done this. And I think I understand that, but I think at the same time, it is a little bit unfair because, again, the reason why many of us were asking for of change in manager is to bring different ideas. And while Rude was brought to work with Eric Ten Hag and kind of had a similar philosophy, he is not Eric Ten Hag. Ruud van Nistelrooy is Ruud van Nistelrooy. He has his own ideas. He has his own personality. He has his own character. So therefore, there is obviously going to be differences, regardless of even if he tried to play the same, thing that Ten Hag was doing. It is going to be different. So I think it would be a little bit unfair to go completely 100% in on the players and say, look, they all down tools because they've done it in the past. A lot of these players haven't been through many managers. I mean, Lindelof is one, but I don't think Lindelof has ever really been accused of downing tools. De Ligt is new. Martinez is new in terms of he came under Eric Ten Hag, so he wasn't here in a previous manager. Bruno Fernandes has been here, of course, through that would be his second manager. Rashford's been through Rashford's been from LVG, but he was still new, so I don't think you can I don't think the downing tools was there. He's obviously been through Jose Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ranić, and now Ten Hag. So Rashford is the one with the most bodies in terms of managers. Xerxes is new. Garnacho is basically new. Casemiro has come under Ten Hag. Delo is another one that been here through from Jose Mourinho and forward. And some might jokingly say that he down tools because he missed that open shot and he got Ten Hag sacked. But I don't think so. His personality and his attitude, he doesn't seem like one that really does that. And Ugarte is new, so I don't think. I think the only one that's going to catch the real brunt of it is probably Marcus Rashford. If Marcus Rashford has an absolute game today, if Marcus Rashford scores a hat trick, they're gonna go in on him and say, look, he's down tools again. He's been through like 5 managers. He clearly could have played well, and he wasn't doing it. But again, I don't think it's 100% on him because it is going to be a different system. We are going to play kind of different to whatever Eric Ten Hag was doing. So maybe it just benefits Rashford a little bit more, and maybe it allows him to play better. Grace saying, maybe I'll make a post about Southgate. I can make him sound like the best coach in the world. Well, whatever you do, make sure he's wearing his best waistcoat if you do that. Grace already giving Rashford a 1. And she said, let's all clap for Delo, proper leader missing that opportunity. He needs a statue. Well, yeah, I mean, if you were one that wanted the manager out desperately, and he did necessarily do a service for you and your I guess agenda. I will have to say though, one of the things that I didn't like too much, and you didn't see it on this channel, and I think I've always made it clear that you would never see it on this channel, and even though I did ask for Eric Ten Hag to go because he had to go because it was time and it was the correct move and decision, we did not come on this show and jump up and down and throw a parade like you've probably seen on many other shows. I kind of thought that was a disgrace. And, you could obviously tell that they do it for reaction. They do it for clicks. And I've said numerous amount of times, I could do many, many things to get more clicks, to get a more clippable clip and put it on social media to get more attention. But I'm not going to do that. I didn't... It wasn't good that Ten Hag failed and that we had to sack another manager. It goes bad on the club's record. It is bad that the project under him failed. But he had to go, and it was a correct thing to do. But I was never going to come on here with party poppers and a hat throwing a party like I've seen in the fan base on some of the bigger channels. I think it was a very sad sight to see. These people were jumping up and down like we won the Premier League, celebrating, and I had other people of other clubs that I'm friends with that are Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans sending me clips, and they're like, look at your people celebrating this, and I felt embarrassed because I was like, the manner in which you're doing this, I was like, it is embarrassing. I was like, it's not a good outlook for the club. per se. It had to happen. It was the correct thing that needed to happen because it did. But to celebrate it in a manner of, like we just won the Premier League or we won the Champions League, I thought was sort of just kind of disgusting. I wanted him to go. He needed to go. But at the end of the day, the project at the club under him failed, and that era failed. So it goes on our history as another failure and another manager that has failed. Um, so I just didn't like that aspect. I don't, I wish that they didn't do things like that. Obviously, we can't control what they do. But I just wish they kind of thought about that. If they respect the club as much as they say they do, and they attack other fans like I've seen them do for not, respecting the club in certain ways and holding opinions online and doing things like that. I don't think that they should be going, on their YouTube channels to thousands and hundreds of thousands of people and kind of celebrating in the manner they did. I thought it was a little bit disgraceful. I think we're bigger than that, and I think we're better than that. So, yeah, Grace saying, "Don't worry, I already googled sexy pics of Southgate." I regret it. I don't. I am not definitely not going to Google those pictures. I don't. I don't want to see it. I could only imagine what has popped up on your screen, Grace. I think it was things you probably didn't even think existed. And they certainly do in today's age. I do know a little bit of things that go on in terms of stuff like that. Jason is in here joining us saying hello, ready for the game. Absolutely, Jason. Did you catch the lineup? I will go over the lineup one more time. It's Grace has found her new screensaver though. So the lineup, just for anybody that's joining us now, follows as Bienda in goal, Victor Lindelof, Delit, Martinez, Delo, with Lindelof and Delit playing center back. Did I say Delo? With Lindelof and Delit playing center back, Martinez left back, Delo playing right back, with Bruno Fernandes, Rashford starting on the right, Bruno starting up top with Xerxes. Ugarte is playing in the midfield with Casemiro, and Garnacho is on the left. That is our lineup. Did I go out and vote? Not yet. It's still early. I'm not participating in the early voting. It's still early to vote. The actual election day for America is on November 5th, so I will be going and voting. But we're not going to talk politics. We keep the politics out of this. So, I'm not saying who I'm voting for. Was expecting Diallo, to be honest. Yeah, there was a possibility, but I think Diallo will get his minutes. And I think maybe Rude has a good relationship with Rashford, and maybe he's given him the opportunity to kind of prove himself a little bit. And I think Rude kind of likes Rashford. So I think out of the two, you can make an argument for maybe taking Rashford out for Diallo, but I think out of the two, I don't think Garnacho is going to get displaced right now. I think he's been our best attacking player that we got from out of those wingers, and then Rashford being Rashford. So, and I believe Rashford has. Oh, it's not Rashford. They just put up a picture of Rashford. So Manchester United, if you guys, like these types of records, and stuff, Manchester United have now had at least one academy graduate in every matchday squad for 87 years. And it has been a consecutive 4,275 consecutive matches. So, again, just, underlining and basically boldening the importance of what the youth is at Manchester United and how it is ingrained in our history. And it is also one of the boxes as to that Rúben Amorim ticks, because it comes from a club that has one of the best youth academy in the world. They always develop talent. They've been doing it for, their whole pretty much existence, or for quite some time now. And he utilized those youth players to revolutionize what he's done at Sporting. He's brought them through. He's developed them. He's given them opportunities. So I think that is one of the big boxes that he has ticked. And that statistic obviously just going hand in hand with the youth and the history of Manchester United. Um, so day one of Rude Ball. And I think we're about to have a meal. I think we're going to feast today. I really do think. I am not going to be live for the match. The match is starting very, very soon. We are going to end the show in a couple minutes. And then I will obviously come back live after the match. And we will do the Red Devil recap as we always do. So make sure you guys are there. And I hope you guys are there. Because we will talk about this rude show. And obviously, give me a little bit of time. It's gonna take probably 30 minutes after the match. I have some things set up for the match already. But I got some things. When are you going to do a watch along? When I get the opportunity. The thing is, I watched the games with my father, and I'm not willing to really give up the games with my father because life is short and it won't last forever, you know what I mean? So I like to take the opportunity while I have it now. Obviously I would love to do watch alongs. I would love to do watch along every game we have. And but there will be moments or opportunities. Sometimes my father can't watch the match because he's got to work and I'm not working, therefore like I won't be able to watch it with him, therefore I can do a watch along. So when that opportunity does arise and present itself, we will do a watch along, for the time being. And then later on in the future, maybe things change. Maybe we won't necessarily be near each other as much as we are right now. So maybe we won't be able to always watch the games. But while I have the opportunity, I do like to take it. I don't want to squander it because there's been many examples in my life. Not personally in my life, but people that I've known that I've seen how short life can be. I have few friends. And more recently, one of my good buddies. He just lost his father to cancer. And his father was very young. His father is about 15 years younger than my father, you know what I mean? And he's younger than me. He's I think he's 21. So to be 21 to lose your father, like nothing is nothing is promised, man. So you gotta take your opportunity. You gotta take what you got, So yeah, I appreciate that. It was tough. It was kind of a shock because we didn't know that anything was really wrong. He went to the doctor like 2 weeks before. They told him he had some type of cancer, and within the span of 2 weeks he was gone. And it came to a shock to all of us. Nobody could really believe it. And the kid is a good kid. He actually lives in Malta, Jason. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. So and he's got a younger sister as well. Like I do. So I kind of felt for him, you know what I mean? And then one of my good buddies growing up as well. He's lost both his parents. He lost his mother when we were in high school to a house fire. And that she was robbed of from him. And a few years ago, I would say almost like 4 years ago now or something like that, he ended up losing his father to cancer as well. So I've seen plenty of examples of how life can be very, very short. So um yeah, Jason, in the though. It's my good, one of my very good friends from the door. You might probably know who he is. We're just saying, if you give up football with your father, you get a 0 from me. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's why I haven't done many shows, so watch alongs. I want to do them, and it would probably be good for the channel, but I'm not gonna pass up on that. So it is what it is, and we'll get an opportunity here and there to do it. I did one a while ago last season because I had one of the opportunities. And we'll get other opportunities, so it's fine for now, you know what I mean? Yeah, and you know, Grace saying that she doesn't know her father, and thanks, mom. Yeah, I mean that is, you know, life is like that. There's lots of people that I know, people that are like that too, that they don't know their father. You know, I have tons of friends with all different types of situations. Some of them grew up without him. I know another one that he also lost his father as well. At a very young age. I know another one that also lost his father at a very young age. You know, life is it's a delicate thing. Sometimes we take things for granted. I try not to. I'm a human being though. You know what I mean? Um Richard Rich, Richard is your father, case. He's you found him. Yeah, so you know, we gotta laugh sometimes. We gotta laugh. Laughter is the best medicine, and as well. Um, but yeah, Richard saying enjoy the match with your dad. I always do. You know, I love the banter between Richard and Grace. No, we have a lovely. I love the community. I hope we get. I want more people to add in, but you know, I think we have what for what it is right now. We have a great community. I think we understand each other very, very well. You know, we don't always have the same opinions, and we don't always share the same opinions. But that you know, we don't. This is what I like about our community. We don't really take it against one another on a personal level. You know, we might have different thoughts and stuff like that, and that's kind of what the community that I want to build. Because I think that's the best type of community you can have. Really, you know, there's too many supposed communities out there, or just general life right now of how things go, of if somebody has an opposing view or somebody says something that you don't necessarily agree with, they are then for automatically an enemy, and therefore you automatically have to attack them. And we are not like that, and I think, you know, we have a good chemistry. We joke around, we're serious at other times. And we all give, you know, sometimes we agree with each other, sometimes we give different opinions, but we never take it on a personal level, and we all pretty much get along and coexist. And that's really what I wanted the community to be when I initially started this. That is my main thing. It has to be a place where I don't really care, per se, you know, what your opinion is in terms of if it aligns with mine or not. As long as we can all do it in a respectful way. And you know, you're not one of these people that come and, you know, abuse people, call them names, attack people, and we could have a real discussion about things, then, you know, I'm all here for it. So Jason says, I'm off to put my kid to sleep before the game starts. Wish me luck and good luck. Well, I wish you luck. I didn't know that you had a kid, but yeah, you know, kids are a whole job in themselves. So good luck with that. And hopefully you could get him in, you know, in and sleeping before the match starts. And yeah, good luck to us. So hopefully we win the match. And thank you for stopping by, Jason. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you after. If you can make it after the match, we will be live. So, but we are probably going to get out of here. I'm just going to check to see if we got any other updates, basically over everything we covered. Rude Van Nistelrooy has done a little bit of talking, so let's do that before we get out of here. Because he has done a little bit, he's been asked some questions, and Van Nistelrooy is saying, I take great pride in that I can bring the club forward even in the short period of time. I believe he was asked, you know, what is his game plan for tonight? And Ruben Van Nistelrooy saying, get a lot of the ball, attack, and try to give the fans a good night. I mean, simple, plain and simple, but I like it, Rude. I like it. That's what we want. We want to see some goals. We want to see us attack. We want to see us dominate the game. And we obviously want to have a good night and a good evening. And a good result. So, yeah. Rude was also asked about Eric Ten Hag. He said, I'm sad to see Eric go. He's the one who brought me here. When we first spoke, what struck me the most was his passion for Manchester United. He really fought and did the utmost for his club. Manchester United and football continue, and I am asked to help. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm proud to lead the team today. So, again, I think very good answer from Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know, basically, I think he's making it a little bit clear that, you know, I did come here because of Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag asked me to join here. I did not come here to take his job. I came here to work for him and with him and help him. So yeah, I think he's kind of setting the narrative straight a little bit, because there was a lot of talk about he was brought here to take Eric Ten Hag's job and whatnot. And clearly, obviously, that was never true. I never believed that. And it's obviously not true, because he ain't going to be the full-time manager going forward. So, Van Nistelrooy also saying, we came in today with a team talk about the opponent and especially about ourselves, what it's about to play at Old Trafford and play in front of these wonderful fans who always support us, and give them a great night of football with enthusiasm and hopefully a lot of possession and attacks. That's what Manchester United is about. I tried to share that with the players. So hopefully that gets through to the players. I'm saying it's going to be different for sure. And that's why I'm saying you can't put it all 100% on the players. Maybe some of them did give up. Maybe some of them weren't playing to the best of their abilities. But again, Ruud van Nistelrooy, his own man, he's going to have his own ideas. He's going to have his own philosophy. He's going to set us up in his own type of way. And, we do expect to see quite a lot of differences. So, it's not just all on the players. It's the man in charge of the team as well. That's why I said the manager is a nucleus of the team. He is his team is a representation of him. And I'm sure Eric Ten Hag did try to do his best, but I think he got many things wrong. And I think he made many mistakes. And maybe some of the players did let him down, but he also let himself down at the same time with a lot of things that he did. So again, it's never just the players, it's never just the manager, it's both. This is a team sport. We are a unit. We win as a collective, we lose as a collective. And that's why everything has to be on key to be successful. Ruud also saying, the most important thing is passion, energy to play together and get the crowd going and give them a great night of football. We have the quality to do so. We have the experience to do so. Yeah, but I mean, again, just, very standard, simple, but standard and straightforward and good answers from Ruud. He also said, today is a big day after the disappointment of West Ham. We were knocked down, but we're up again and we're fighting, and that's what Manchester United is about. And, again, Ruud he understands the club. He gets it. He was at the club at a period in time where the club was at the peak and it was successful. He still carries that mentality with him everywhere he goes. And I hope those reports of, that the players like Ruud a lot, that they respect him a lot, I hope that, I assume he gave a similar message in this way to the players, and I hope that really does get through to them. And I hope that, he will, I hope that they respond to it well, they perform, and we get the not 3 points, but we go to the next round. Ruud also speaking on Jace, I don't know if it's Jace or JC Fitzgerald, but obviously JC Fitzgerald has been brought into the squad because Christian Eriksen has failed the fitness test and he has some sort of an injury. So he was a late addition, emergency add pretty much. But he said on JC Fitzgerald, he said it's fantastic to have him today in the dressing room. I asked him what his feelings were, and he was proud. It's a dream come true. 17-year-old lad. He's doing really well in the academy, like Fletcher, Almas, and Wheatley. Ruud also speaking on Joshua Zirkzee, saying Josh, his last 2 games, he got 2 assists, and he can build on his qualities and on those performances. So, yeah, he's speaking quite a lot, saying some very good things, some very interesting things. And let's see what comes from it. But the match is going to start very, very soon, so I'm going to get out of here because I got to go. And we will be back on for the Red Devil recap after. Good luck to all of us. Enjoy the match. Hopefully we have something to be happy and positive about after the match is over. But we will be live after the match, about 30 minutes or so after. So, be on the lookout for that. I look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you to everybody that smashed the like button. you know, because it helps the channel grow. So we appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that's been involved in the chat and then come here and got involved in the discussion. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Richard. Shout out to Jason. Lyle, of course. Ray was in here before. Noah got involved early as well. And Warren J was in here early, and Sadiq was in here early as well. So thank you guys. Be good, stay safe. I'll be all right. I'll catch you guys after the match is over. We'll do the Red Devil recap as we always do. And yeah, and then we could have whatever discussion we want after the match. But until then, take care. GGMU. I'm saying we're winning 3-0 today. Let's go, Rude. Let's get this win. Let's get this win. And I will catch you guys later.